Hello everybody and welcome to round 6 of Spa here in the Vanguard Racing Team Racing League. I am your main commentator, Captain Foxy, and tonight it's one to look forward to. We have 7 drivers currently already out on track with a qualifying session that's halfway over. But before we jump into it, let me run you down the standings. Sebastian Coe in the Mercedes currently is topping the leaderboard with 111 points. Then Ride Spider with 63 points, followed by Andy Park and Alfa Romeo 60 points. Pavel Peltom in the Ferrari 31, and Iceburn Stopper in the McLaren with 30 points. Then Sarah Mulfeitova with 28 points on Alfa Romeo, and Tuki Gonzalez in the BWT Racing Point with also 28 points. Ollie Mobbs, Red Bull Racing 25 points, Charlie Lamberson in the Haas 22 points. Victor Buck in the Ferrari 20 points, Leon Jenkins in the BVT Racing Point 12. Patrick Gibbs, Renault 8, Max Wenger Haas 6, Eric Brennan the McLaren 6, and Bob Norris at the bottom of the leaderboard in the Williams with 3 points. It's Mercedes currently at the top of the leaderboard with 174 points, followed by Alfa Romeo with 86. Can they take a jump here and go closer? It's only Sarah in the Alfa Romeo in this round. Ferrari currently, both drivers are on here in qualifying with 51 points. BWT Racing Point 30. Currently, no one, not a driver there. We also have McLaren 30 points. Today, also no McLarens showing up. Haas 28. It's Charlie Lamberson in the Haas joining today, so he can put his team a bit high in the standings, followed by Red Bull Racing 25, no driver showing up today. Williams 13, neither in the session, and Renault 10, sadly not here. So, while everything was going on, qualifying has kept going, and, well, as I said, there we go. We are currently on board with Pavel Peltoma. Sarah Mulfeitova did already put in a lap, but she pressed the wrong button, forgot that teleporting in the pit lane is not allowed, and got disqualified from the session. Her lap time would stand though for the race, so that will be important to remember for later on. Sebastian Coe in the Mercedes currently second, 4 tenths behind Sarah's lap time. He has done a 1:43.0, which is exactly 4.25 tenths behind Sarah. Charlie as well did already his lap in 1:43.452, exactly 4 tenths behind Coe. So it's 4 tenths gap between 2 and 3. Between 1, 2, and 3. Rice by the Mercedes had not done a good lap in yet. 2 seconds off to Sarah there with a 1:44. Oh dear, he spins it round the bus stop and couldn't manage to get a good start. But of course, it was just a start lap. His rear tires should be up to temperature now. Instead, we were crossing the line. There was again a 1:44. So that spin cost me on 2 seconds. Pavel Peltoma was fastest in Sector 1, but then lost it in Sector 2. Also 1:44 under 1:45, even 1:45.1. And Victor Backe going in the pit lane with 1:45.3. Currently improving was Pavel before abandoning their lap. And so currently we're on board with Sebastian Coe going through Jackie X and now out to Puon. The information about the track. First ground happened in 1950, the first ever Grand Prix with a length of 7.004 kilometers. So it's one of the longer tracks in the season. One to also look forward. 2 air zones, one at the Camel Straight, the second one start-finish straight. So one shorter straight, one very long straight up towards Le Com. 20 corners around this Grand Prix here. 19 if you don't count the turn 6 of the Camel Straight. So one to look forward to. I'll be using the 20 corner layout. So this final corner here and the bus stop will be turn 20. 3 sectors, sector 1 ending just after Camel Straight, start of the com, sector 2 ending at Stavlo, turn 15-16 at the bottom of the track, and then sector 3 of course being the rest of the circuit. Of course, lots of history here on this track, one to really remember. Currently going green is Rice Spider with their sector 1. Green there, but yellow in sector 2. Let's see what they do. 5 times up on the delta, goes across the line to get a 1:44.2, and that was just not enough to improve on position. Goes half a second down though. Helps great to catch a little bit of time to Lambertson. The Mercedes drivers, of course, leading the championship here. Very important for the teams here, as we need to look out for the Alfa Romeo versus the Mercedes. These two have been battling in the championships for quite a while. And I do have to apologize if I do call the Camel Straight, of course, the Belgian, in the Belgian saying K-E-M-M-E-L, sounds very similar to the word camel. So I'll try my best to differentiate those two words. Of course, I don't see why I should say camel instead of camel, but in the stream today, of course, it's corners names, straight names are tough to get correct. Of course, Le Com afterwards, French saying, not perfectly pronunciation here for campus turns 13 and 14. Also needs to be careful. Yes, that's gravel on the outside. That's all right. Spider nearly overshoots it and loses give rear a little bit, but that middle sector has lost him 3.5 seconds. Not going for a long run, pardon me, the outlap, sorry, pardon, not long run. So looking, qualifying, closing in, 15 seconds remaining. Sarah move it over with her lap time that she's done 1 lap in, forgetting that teleporting invalidates your disqualifies you from qualifying. Has just managed to bring that 1 lap in. Sebastian Crowe just across the line.
Qualifying over.
Just started his lap with now qualifying being over. So Sebastian Crowe being one of the only drivers managing to cross the line to start the final lap. Let's see what Crowe does. 2 temps up on the delta so far. At the end of the Camel Straight will be the first sector line. Let's see where he'll be there. There's wide open. Battery being used to the limit. 2 temps down on Sarah. So that it'll be not perfect. That's still slower than his current lap time. Will he improve in sector 2? Currently also out on the lap is Charlie just behind in the Haas, and Victor in the Ferrari, who is currently going through Bruxelles as well. Staying with the Mercedes, he'll be the first one to finish their lap time. As, pardon me, Charlie Hansen was the first one to complete their lap time. So purple sector 1, grey sector 2. So orange sector 2. That it looks to be set to maybe be very close to Sebastian Crowe, depending on what he does now. Through sector 3, through the bus stop chicane, the Haas goes. Bit wiggly on the exit there. The rear end just did not want to respond, but goes across the line, losing number 4 tenths. That does not improve on the left. Now let's go to the Mercedes. Purple, sector 2, gains a 10th there, but still down on Sarah's time. Now out of Blanchimont, towards the bus stop we go. Turns 19, the breaking point. Very interesting here. Has to be careful not to lock the race or the fronts. But he does lock the race and spins the car around us onto the grass, and that's his lap time over. Now onto the Ferrari. Down a few seconds, but it could be enough to catch his teammate and Rice Spider's Mercedes. Out of the bus stop we go. Curbs being track limits, goes across the line and will improve on position and overtakes their teammate up into P5. And that is the qualifying session here in Spa over. Sarah Mufetova takes pole position with a 1:42.618. Then will be Sebastian Crowe, Mercedes 1:42.880. Then Charlie Amson with 1:43.302. Ray Spider 1:44.233. Victor Buckin, Ferrari 1:44.910. Pablo Pertoma, who just improved on his lap time, 1:45.10. And these are the 6 drivers that are going to compete today in the race shorter lineup today. Of course, VRT does have also some numbers sometimes. So I think today not many could show up, but it will still be an inter-race around Spa here. As we currently have a little bit of time, let's have a bit of a calculation what the teams and drivers could do. Sarah Fatova currently 6th in the standings with 28 points. If she gets the win here, 25 points to her name, could jump herself way up, closing in on her teammate Andy Park. Icewind Stopper and Pavel Fatoma will drop down one position. She could put herself up into P4. Sebastian Crow currently P2 standing, 111 points under his name. He could jump his way up as more to his teammate in Mercedes 63. Andy Park, of course, not being here today, it will be a tough jump to him. He's only 3 points behind Rai after this, before this race. So if Rai Spider does have some good improvements here, he could jump his way closer to his teammate and further from everyone behind. Of course, we also have Pavel Pertoma currently 4th in the standings. If he manages to have a bit of a jump with the points, could battle Sarah for that 4th place standing. But currently Ferrari and Alfa Romeo are also very much in a battle. 20 points with the Ferrari, 21 points ahead of the... pardon me, not 21 points. So Alfa Romeo being about 35 points ahead of the... behind the Alfa Romeo. So with the 2 Ferrari drivers that could catch to the Alfa Romeos, of course, with Sarah being on pole position, bit tough for on their side. The 2 drivers could gain a theoretical good amount of points here. Let's see what the drivers will do, as the drivers are lining up slowly into the grid. Rai Spider having issues leaving the session there. That is interesting to watch and interesting to see. 20 seconds till race start. It will be a race to be look forward to. Ferrari's duo here could have a jump onto the Alfa Romeo team, while currently Sarah could have her eyes set on that P4 in the standings and maybe have a way to fight herself up towards maybe the top 3 or even challenge the Ferrari drivers. Here we go, now lining up onto the grid. I did have forgotten to get the auto start on, so I'll be having to press that leave button very quickly. I've once made the mistake to leave the server, won't happen again. Here, as Sarah Mufitoa lines herself up on the inside, pole position, does have certainly the worst line towards turn 1. Of course, the outside line being better for an overtake opportunity. Sarah could defend that line going towards turn 1, also known as La Source. Then uphill braking point into a kind of cambered inside right-hander, down the hill towards Eau Rouge, then Radion, and then towards a Camel Straight. So let's see what the Mercedes drivers can do. Of course, their setups last race in Nürburgring that I've missed, have been told, was a bit of a miss. Of course, Sebastian Crow did and at the end get it, as he did some slight modifications. Rai Spider said he had complaints about that, but anytime now the lights will turn off. So let's have an eye between those 2 Rolex in the middle of the sign there. Once the lights turn off, it will be an interesting race between the 6 drivers here on the grid. One where championship standings could jump drastically. 2 minutes for the setups to be set. So we need to see the drivers set up the car correctly, of course. Refueling not allowed. The fuel needs to be set perfectly. Let's see also what tires everyone will go on to. Looking at the settings so far, C3 for Sarah, C3 for Sebastian, C2s for Charlie, Rai goes C3, Victor goes C2, Pavel Pertoma goes C3. Looking at here, C3s being mediums, C2s being hard. The lights are going to turn off anytime soon now. And it's lights out. Go, go, go towards La Source. And Sarah got a great start. Charlie, sharp picks Sebastian Crow on the inside. Could he ever look for Sarah? Not quite. Side by side with the Mercedes and Alfa Romeo. In the back, the Ferrari's going also side by side. Down towards Eau Rouge towards turn 3. Who will come out on top? Sarah has lost out a bit on the acceleration, and Sebastian Coe goes up into the lead. Charlie follows behind. Sarah drops out to P3. Rai goes for the outside. Onto the Camel straight side by side between the Haas and the Ferrari. Mercedes, who will go first towards the breaking point. 3 wide. Lewis laid on the brakes. Who will be the first to pop out? It's the Haas of Charlie. Crow, Sarah, bit of contact with the front wing and the rear wing of the two. And the Haas goes and runs away a little bit. Bravo, Belgium, the Ferrari, starting down in P5, pushed himself up into P2. Mercedes issues, goes wide off at Jackie X corner. Sarah could have a look towards Puon. Not quite. Right by the behind as well. Looking for a bit of a choice for an overtake. Charlie Lambertson losing a bit of time to the Ferrari. 1/10 down. Towards now Campus. Towards now we're going Stavolo. Turn 15. Entering now sector 3. Charlie still leads off the grid. While Pablo Thomas manages to keep himself into that half a second gap. Starting lap 3 DS will be activated. So that's something to look forward to as well. The Ferrari not gaining lots of time to the Mercedes. While Sarah could have a look to get herself back up into P3. She's gone for the outside line towards the breaking point of the bus stop. Oh dear, the Ferrari early on the brakes. Mercedes rear ends them. Sarah up at the P3. Side by side with Mercedes pair now. And oh dear, I forgot to press the button. I've just managed to get myself out of there in time. That was a race start to have forgotten. Yes, but now, pardon me. That was not lap 3, lap 2. And Sarah, I think with that avoidance, has lost 2 positions. She will not be happy with that. I do apologize for that now for the drivers. Hopefully I've not caused too much trouble. In the back, we also see a car bit of slowed down. There's a Ferrari, Victor Bakker going now up Eau Rouge. Interesting that his start wasn't as good. Charlie still leads off the pack going into La Source. Now towards Village. Down to Bruxelles and the Mercedes pair. Sebastian Crow currently leading this group here with Salvatova having to back down a little bit. Not managing to get a bit of time to the Mercedes, of course, with the mistake. Right, Spider out of Jackie X, goes wide. Luckily no gravel there yet on this layout. And Sarah goes up in position up at the P4 towards Puon. Bit optimistic there. Could have ended in heartache, but the Mercedes did see her going for the inside, and Sarah got that position now her way, battling herself up towards Sebastian Crow. Pablo Pitom also not losing touch to the Haas driver as we're now going towards Blanchemont. Turn 17. This will basically flat here. Who will use more battery? Up the hill we go now. There's an inside track on the go-karting track on the inside there. Something to look forward to if we do go here for real life. But Sebastian Crow, good run up Blanchemont towards the bus stop. He goes for the outside. Who will be late on the brakes? It's the Mercedes. Goes up into P2. Sarah catching lots of time for the Ferrari as well. She could have a shot here. DS will be open now. There we go. First to open that rear wing. She goes for the outside. The Ferrari squeezes her to the outside. Who will be late on the brakes? Same time. But the Ferrari with that inside line regains that position. And Sarah had to back out of that one. Fastest lap for the Mercedes as well. Sebastian Crow, who is now right on the rear end of the Haas. Up Eau Rouge, now ready and we go. Camel straight, the S will open right here, turn 6. Let's see the Mercedes on the outside. The Haas had to give up immediately, but we see also the back. Sarah getting pushed on the outside, contact on the big crash. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Safety call, safety call.
Safety car deployed after that huge incident between the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo. The Ferrari went Beyblading across the screen there. And that is Pablo Pitoma retiring from the race, probably with an engine damage. Too damage to get the car running. Sarah definitely has some damage on her car. Could take the opportunity of the safety to repair that. But that was a huge incident. And I have to say, from this point of view, yeah, it looked to the Ferrari was just a bit too eager with the defense pushing the Alfa Romeo onto the grass. The stewards are going to have to have a look at that one after the race. But the Ferrari that had the bad end of the stick then had to retire from the race. Sarah, sadly, after a good catch-up game, after losing a few positions, could have been caused by me. I might have missed that one, of course. Now the safety car being parked on the inside out of turn 1. Sebastian Crow will be the first one to catch, but goes into the pit lane, goes for the stop. The Haas driver of Charlie stays out. Rai follows his teammate in. Sarah, of course, could be looking to get that damage fixed. Let's see what she does going up the bus stop. Of course, also Delta to be followed. Let's see. She does go in before that repaired fix. Of course, she won't lose too much time here with that safety car. She might lose a position to the Ferrari of Victor Bucket, the Norwegian driver, pardon me. Charlie being already behind the safety car, if you're following. As we're here, on board with the safety car, looking behind Charlie Lambertson, the Haas Lambertson, sorry, pardon me, I've been told it's spelled without. It's mainly the T, so I have to look at that one, of course. Being just behind the safety car. The Mercedes of Sebastian Krobe, the first one of the pitting drivers to catch with the hard compound. Sarah just leaving the pits there. Let's see where the safety car should do another lap, seeing as the driver's still having to catch. Looking here through Bruxelles we go, and there we go. Sebastian Crow has caught to the pack. Next driver to catch will be Rye Spider. Now through Jackie X. Hard on the accelerator by the safety car, not losing any time. Need to keep a Delta himself. 25 laps in this race, 4 already being down. An interesting one to be looked so far. So let's see what will come out of this. Now through Campus, Rye Spider caught to the pack as well, being in 3rd place. With Ferrari being the next driver to catch, with Sarah right on the rear. Of course, the hard compounds need to be warmed up. I do need to have a talk with the drivers afterwards, apologizing for my mistake. In the end, the start was just a bit too interesting. I've forgotten to have pressed a button. Of course, hopefully no hard feelings to the drivers. I didn't see a retirement there, so just in time to have fixed my mistake. Looking at the grid, all the drivers have caught, but I believe it'll be another lap behind the safety car, going up towards the bus stop chicane. The yellow flag is still out, the safety car sign still there. Another lap behind the safety car. As Victor Backe, surprise call, goes back to the pit lane. Currently on the C3 tires. Could be looking to change that to going to the C2 tires. Let's see what color goes on. There we go, C2. So, Sarah back to her position she was before, right behind the 2 Mercedes, not having lost too much time after that one. Of course, the 2 Mercedes pair looking to maybe have a gut jump on Charlie. He can drop the hammer once the safety car goes in, so want to look forward. But here was where that huge crash happened that caused Beltoma to retire from the race and Sarah to be involved as well. Some debris still being on the grand test, so the drivers might have a little bit less grip entering Le Com. Interesting for tire call as well. Lambertson still on the tires he started on, while everyone behind is on fresh new hards. So this is one for Charlie to look. He could have rubbered down tires so a little bit of extra grip, but they will fall faster. Of course, the fresher tires will have a bit more pace in the long run. So let's see what the Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo of Sarah in the back can do. And Victor Backe is also part of this, so it could be a huge 5-way battle after the safety car goes in. But between the Mercedes and the Haas, that is one to look forward to. Of course, Mercedes looking to increase their gap in the championship standings, already having a huge one on the rivals in the Alfa Romeo. Looking at the numbers, of course, Alfa Romeo being nearly 100 points down. If the Mercedes pair can do something here, they could gain another 50 pardon me, another 38 to down from her, depending where Sarah move it over, could push herself up. Now, safety car in the slab. So, Charlie, take it away. Of course, the engines don't sound. Usually I would let the engine roar, but with a bit of audio issues, I do have to talk over this. We can only hear the Mercedes behind. So we see going up towards Blanchimont. When will Charlie drop the hammer? Getting closer to the bus stop. Usually here's where some drivers already decide to drop it, but not quite. Charlie knows that the bus stop could gain him more time if he does it correctly.
Charlie, pack's yours.
There we hear race director say, Charlie, pack is yours. When will he drop it? And he does now, but Sebastian Crow caught immediately to that bluff out of the corner, and the Mercedes does not lose any time. Neither did Rice Spider in the back. So, huge caught by the Mercedes. By wide goes Charlie, and Sebastian Crow on the inside already gains the position, goes up into the lead. Will the Mercedes off right as well? Yes, he does. And the Mercedes pack go 1-2 into the lead. Upper whoosh now. The S will be enabled next lap, I believe, unless it's already enabled, but not quite. It's not. But Charlie looking already for the inside line, side by side between the pair. Towards Lecombe we go. Who will be brave on the brakes? It is the Haas. But no, wait, it's Mercedes looking for the inside. But I was too brave. Losing the rear end. Will he rejoin just behind? No, he does lose huge amount of time, and Sarah puts herself up into the podium places. Charlie as well with that overtake puts himself into P2, but Sebastian already 1.5 seconds ahead of the gap of the pack here. Huge jump from him. So the battle is now looking for P2. Sarah versus the Haas of Charlie Lamberson. Towards campus we go. And Charlie looks to be a little bit more comfortable through Pouhon, but loses good amount of time through here. Of course, Sarah done that pole position. She has the pace to bring herself up into the leading position of where Sebastian Crow currently is set comfortably. 1.9 seconds, still increasing. The Haas ahead, just having a few looks. Of course, he's not gaining lots of time to car ahead, but has to also have his eyes behind. Rice Spider currently 6.5 seconds behind Victor Backe. Backe being 2.8 seconds already behind Sarah. But look up from Charlie there, and Sarah caught lots of amounts of time, fastest time for the Mercedes. But looking at this, will Sarah have a look for La Source? Not quite. Knows that the next year zone could be a good opportunity for an overtake. The Haas goes a bit wide again on the exit, but not enough like he did last time. Of course, the AstroTurf on the outside, decreasing the grip on the tires, being a slippery surface. Sebastian Crow and Mercedes up the hill, being the first. But Sarah goes to the inside, but the Haas defends it. Now the S activated for Sarah. The Haas defends the inside. Sarah goes to the outside and gets a position already before the corner starts. Will the Haas do something? Still makes itself visible. Sarah gets the position, and Pavel disqualified from race direction. I believe he did go out trying to put something and did get disqualified. Sarah got the position into La Source with that DS help. Now her focus is to gain on the Mercedes of Sebastian Crow in front. Rice Spider in the back is trying to catch a little bit to the pack, to Victor Backe. Caught 2 tenths, goes to the AstroTurf, nearly losing the rear end again. Rice Spider absolutely pushing the limits on that Mercedes. Caught 4 tenths, half a second out of Jackie X, and that's a Ferrari of Pouhon. Careful with that rejoin. The Mercedes just caught by her now. Rice Spider goes up into 4th place with the mistake of Victor Backe. Sebastian Crow currently still increasing the gap a little bit. Was a bit faster through the end of Sector 2. Start of Sector 3 out of Stavelot. Now through Blanchimont. Flat round here with these cars. 310 kilometers an hour. Up towards the bus stop chicane. Looks to me being set with the brakes. No issues there. And out of it. Will the rear end be sticking nicely? Yes, it does. But Sarah caught lots of times. Fastest up to the race. 145.042 for her in the Alfa Romeo. Now up towards La Source. Will she catch more? Will she be enough to be in the DS range? Not quite. 1.2 tenths seconds. 1.1. DS detection point being just around here. And she just missed out on it. But she's still gaining. She's emptying that battery. Will it be enough to have the DS Not quite, yes, not open, but she is down in that 1 second range. Huge amount of time caught out of Le Source. That straight line speed on that Alfa Romeo is huge, but oh dear, slightly on the rear end entering La Source. And that lost her 3/10. Sebastian Crow really needs to have a look. His stability is the one thing that's keeping him, caning him those couple tenths that are important through Jackie X. Looks to me set. Sarah taking all the opportunity of the track, all the track on the outside. Curves, of course, being track limits. 4 warnings allowed before a penalty gets set in, unless race direction says otherwise and has a look towards Campus. 1.2 seconds between the pair of 1 and 2. While Charlie Anderson loses out lots of Audi, 3.2 seconds behind Sarah. Rise Spider is just slowly losing touch as well, so 9.8 seconds as we are currently lap 8 out of 25. Still so much to go, but we are looking at the leading battle here. And these drivers could give us an incredible battle. Of course, championship leader versus Sarah, who wants to push that team into better place or push herself up also into 4th place in the standings. We are already 6 rounds in. So we still have quite a bit to go. Of course, any jump you can get at the beginning is still very important. Towards La Source we go. Sebastian Crow already going a bit defensive. Look at the mirrors. Of course, knowing that Sarah through here is the fastest. Her setup really helping her down the hill. Will she be in the DS? And yes, she will. DS detection zone round here. And she is under that 1 second. Up Eau Rouge now. Ready on we go. The Mercedes being in danger. Let's see Sarah. That rear wing is opened now. There we go, and look how much time she gains. 5 tenths. Down to nearly 4 tenths towards La Source. And this is where the Mercedes now shines. He gains about 3 tenths out of these couple corners now through Village. Sarah still there, holding on through Bruxelles. This is where the Mercedes higher down for setup helps him go through. Sarah loses about 2 tenths through there. Now through Jackie X. Kev with the also top on the outside. Both have done it great. And Crow still with a 2/10 gain there, but oh, with the curb on the inside touch, goes completely wide, and Sarah caught 4 tenths. Is now right on the rear end of the Mercedes, and that was a huge and costly mistake, as Sarah slowed down for setup, can help her through the Blanchimont complex, and sector 3. Here we go now out of turn 16. This is now pretty much flat, and Sarah's setup could help her greatly up the hill here now. Through Blanchimont, turn 17, now turn 18 left-hander, and look at the gap. Yes, Sarah, 1/10 gained on this little straight here, now towards the bus-stop chicane. This is where the low setup can help a little bit on the exit. Looking at that, 8 tenths between the two, 9 tenths. Sarah's made a slight mistake there. Lost out huge amount of time, now towards La Source. Back to where Sarah's car shines. Can she use this as an advantage? She's closer than last time. Would this be close enough for an overtake opportunity up La Source? Turn 7. Of course, now we go through Eau Rouge. Now ready on for the Mercedes. DS will be activated for Sarah. What will she do? On board with her now. DS open. 5 tenths. It goes in 4 tenths. And now up to the breaking point of La Source. Sarah Pablo incident noted. Lap 4, the incident that caused the safety car. Sarah caught, but not enough to have herself into striking distance. He is back for the Mercedes. Through this complex, if he does a mistake again through Prix, that could be very costly as Sarah's closer than ever. Through Jackie X, he seems very confident in the car there, no issues. Now, last time he hit that inside curb, bouncing him wide. This time does it great. Sarah does not gain time this time through Campus. Is where the Mercedes has a bit more time as well in that car. Right then, left-hander, the chicane. Very tough to get right. It's on the outside. There's gravel. Can lose you lots of other time. Now through Stavolo, turn 15. Now entering sector 3. The Mercedes seems to have gained 4 tenths nearly in that couple of corners. Now here's back where the Alfa Romeo shines. Who will use more battery as well? It looks to me that Crow is trying to mitigate that time loss with lots amounts of battery usage towards the bus stop we go, and the Mercedes still 7 tenths to Sarah, but here Sarah loses always a bit of time. It jumped up to a second, but this time did not lose enough. Still in that 8 seconds, right in the back. Charlie spins right and hits the wall. Where will Wright join up in this? Going now up the bus stop. The Haas is still parked there. Now moving. Now if we look at the camera. Up in front, there's the Haas. Now back to this leading battle here. Up or Rouge now ready on. Yes, Sarah closer than ever. Who will come out on top into the source? Sarah gaining again, but not using enough battery. 4/10 up towards the source. Stays behind for now. And this is closer than ever. As Sebastian Crow needs to be careful not to be hit by the pressure. Of course, he wants to look to gain more time on the standing sheets. Out of Bruxelles into Jackie X. They do these cup corners so carefully, but Sarah goes wide onto the AstroTurf, losing herself a little bit of time now through Pouon. Both cars looking on the edge, pushing themselves now into Campus. The Mercedes gains time through here, 8/10, 9/10, and this is Sarah lost a little bit of time this lap to the Mercedes. Mercedes seems to be a bit more set, bit more stable. Of course, Sarah still in that 1 second window. She could put herself back into the DS zone for the start finish straight. Through Blanchimont we go. Now and turn 18. Up to the bus stop, 7/10. Sarah is just ever so slightly creeping herself closer, but then losing it. After La Source Complex, through turn 7 to turn 12 Pouon. But then again, also through Campus, 13 and 14, and then end of Sector 2. Sarah needs to have a way to look to get past that Mercedes. She could use that available straight line speed, but loses out time out of the bus stop and into the source. It's still in that DS zone, but 9/10. This is further than she was last time. Not in striking distance unless she empties up that battery. Up or Rouge and ready on. Now the DS zone. DS open for her. The Mercedes seems to be just far enough to not be in any trouble. Up to the source. Brakes. Right, left, right for this complex here. Village being the final part of the source. Here, turn 9 as there's a village on the left hand side of the track. Now up to Bruxelles. And Sarah goes a little bit wide, not having done that corner just as perfect as she did last time. But oh, wide goes Sebastian Crow, losing himself lots of time. Half a second now towards Pouon. And Alfa Romeo of Sarah move it over. Gains herself just a bit of time there. Now through Campus, where the Mercedes shines. Where will the Mercedes... How much time will the Mercedes gain out of these couple of corners here? Taking all the track that's available. Now down the hill at the lowest point of the track we go. Now going back up again. Just ever so slightly. But Sarah is very, very close. Nearly in striking distance. Which will be enough for the bus stop through Blanchimont. Sarah's still not quite there. But up to the bus stop. 4/10. And late on the brakes is the Alfa Romeo as well. Very eager to gain as much time as she can. And then, oh, she's right on the rear end. DS open. Will she ever look into La Source? She stays behind. The Mercedes goes a little bit of that still. She has a way for the inside. Side by side. Down the inside. But the Mercedes does look for a bit of a switchback. Not quite. Stays behind. The Mercedes will have the DRS onto the Camel Straight. But Sarah leads the pack now. Upper Rouge and Radion. Mercedes empties the battery, stays just behind the slipstream, is very strong. Sarah goes to the inside, defends it very well, but the Mercedes with that DS help goes back up in front towards La Source. Sarah still there, keeps her nose in, but backs out just before the corner starts, and the Mercedes back up into the lead. The Mercedes really not looking to lose much time. Here's where the Mercedes shines as well. Being in the lead could help him gain a bit of time onto that Alfa Romeo, edging himself away from this battle. Sarah does not lose grip either. She stands right behind, half a second. Out through Pouon we go. And this is again where the Mercedes shines through these couple of corners, the end of Sector 2. Sarah, though, has a bit of handling in their car. She's getting more used. She's losing less and less time each lap. This time, barely losing virtually no time. Now entering Sector 3. This is where the Alfa Romeo is faster. And up the hill we go. Will the Alfa Romeo be close enough? She is in striking distance for the bus stop chicane. Could have a look through Blanchimont. Not quite enough to make it side by side, but now where will Sarah go? Who will defend the inside? It was the Mercedes defending the inside. Sarah goes for the outside and late on the brakes. Gets the position done. And the Mercedes now needs to find a way to fight back. Not losing time on the exit. There's for the Mercedes. Up towards Le Source. Sarah stays on the outside. Not defending, but late dive for the Mercedes. Sarah touches the grass. Has a bit of grip loss. And the Mercedes into the lead. Would this be enough? Not quite. They are going to make it side by side towards the Rouge. Alfa Romeo goes into the lead. Loses the end. Cuts the corner. And Sarah stays in the lead. But the Mercedes could have a shot now. There's open for the Alfa Romeo. I believe it is so. That is hope for the Alfa Romeo of Sarah. Stays in the lead this time through the source. Could the Mercedes have a look here through Bruxelles? Maybe. That the extra downforce could help. Gain time. Sarah goes a little bit wide. The Mercedes carries more speed through the corners. Now through Jackie X we go. Sarah stays in the lead. But the Mercedes needs to find a way past very soon if he wants to have a shot. That extra downforce is going to hurt him into sector 3. Sarah goes very fast through Prix, nearly goes wide and loses by the end. Not enough for the Mercedes to catch time. Through Campus, and Sarah leads off the way now. For the first time this race, Sarah keeps the lead here. Now through Stavolo, entering turn 16. Can the Mercedes does the Mercedes have enough battery to stay in touch with that Alfa Romeo? Not quite. It is nearly 8/10, and that extra downforce really helping. The Mercedes is losing touch, getting out of that slipstream effect as well. Towards the bus stop we go, and Sarah could increase the gap up to a second. She does. And so the Mercedes did not manage to get into the DRS zone, but will this be enough here to get himself into the DRS zone for the Camel Straight? Up the hill we go towards the source. Braking hard. This is where Sarah last time touched a bit of grass, losing a bit of grip. The Mercedes seems more comfortable under braking. 8/10. Will you have enough battery to stay under the second? The DRS zone, detection zone is around here. He does keep it there. He got that DRS detection, but he's now 1 second. That will not be enough to be in striking distance for Le Source. The gap just ever so slightly increasing. That's just how fast that Alfa Romeo is. Through Le Source we go. This is where the Mercedes can gain a lot of time back. But of course, a dirtier could hurt that for Mercedes. It slightly does. He is under that 1 second again. But Sarah keeps her composure and does not lose any time at all. Through Jackie X. Looking at those cornering. Not quite going wide anymore. They both understand each other now. They know how the car handles. And through here we go. And Sarah leads off into Campus. But the Mercedes behind is just ever so slightly losing touch and more than last time. Still in the 1 second. Goes on to the AstroTurf. That is track limits for them. Need to be careful not to get too many of those. As after 4, a penalty will be induced. Look at the bottom right. If that happens, we will be the first to know. Through Blanchemont. And that, look at that. 1.3 seconds out between the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes. Sarah is set. Her setup is just a tiny bit better than the setup of the Mercedes. The only parts where the Mercedes gains is into the bus stop, through La Source, through Bruxelles, through Pouon, and through Campus. And the rest is where the Alfa Romeo of Sarah is just gaining more time. Of course, that straight lane speed is just phenomenal into helping her keeping the lead. The Mercedes is just not getting enough time through the corners. 1.4 seconds. And yes, the Mercedes out of that zone. Charlie in the pits. Rise Spider promotes himself up into P3. And it's a double podium for the Mercedes currently. Entering lap 16 for Rise Spider. And so, the battles have calmed down. And look at the standings so far. Sarah is set to put herself up into P4. Sebastian Crow is increasing his gap lots to his teammate Rise Spider in the back as well. So this is interesting to see between the two Mercedes drivers. This could end up a three-way battle at the end of the season between Crow, Spider, and Mufei Tova. Of course, we need to have a look there for them. Currently round 7, still many rounds to go. This is an interesting season so far. Of course, many drivers sometimes having to skip rounds. Sarah, for example, last round in the Nürburgring, late sign up, did race for a bit, but had to retire due to a mistake she has made, gaining of no points, where Sebastian Coe had won that race. In Barcelona, Sarah did not drive at all. iSprint being the one that won that round. So Sarah really needs to look to, if she wants to have a battle for the championship, to be racing a few more races. She has the pace to keep the lead or even win some races. She currently is showing strong signs. Still having the fastest lap under her name, 1:45.0. While Sebastian Coe's fastest lap was 1:45.3, 3/10 slower. But in the back, Charlie, after his pit stop, is slowly closing in on Victor Backe. The Haas versus Ferrari, two Ferrari-powered engines. Up towards Blanchimont, 2.5 seconds now. Let's see how much he'll catch with those fresh tires up towards bus stop. With those medium C3 compounds. Looking to be set for the rest of the race. 2.3 now. That is a huge gain through the bus stop. Now up towards Le Source. Sarah lost 2/10 to Sebastian Coe as well, but that is through Le Source. So it is interesting to see. 1.5 seconds between two. 1.3. So that is interesting. Sarah has lost quite a bit of time through those couple of corners. Could it be that the tires are starting to fall off a cliff? Of course, with the setup changes, these could also hurt a bit of on tire wear. Sebastian Coe could also be looking to maybe have better tire wear in that car. Lamberson is now 1.1 seconds behind Victor. In the Haas, going through the source, looking just how much grippier that car is. He feels very confident. 0.7 seconds. 7:10.6 entering Bruxelles. Sarah and Sebastian are entering the 1 second gap as well, so I'm keeping my eyes on those gaps. Victor and Charlie go wide through Jackie Hicks. Are they gonna make it side by side through Pouon? Yes, they are. And bit of contact. Oh, dear. And the Haas goes a bit wide, loses the position again, side by side. The Ferrari gains back to position 2-4, P4. Now through Campus. The Haas had a look on the inside. The Ferrari defended brilliantly to keep the position. Now through Stavolo. The Ferrari stays ahead. Bit of damage on both of the cars with that bit of contact. Now into turn 16. Up towards Blanchimont. The Haas puts himself on the inside. The Ferrari defends. But oh dear, did he push him off the track. The Haas backs out now. Victor stays at P4. Up towards the bus stop chicane we go. Who will be eager on the brakes? The Ferrari stays ahead. But the Haas not giving up yet. Could have a look for a fight later on. Now entering La Source. Turn 1. The Haas is just behind, still in the detection zone, up towards Eau Rouge. Down the hill we go. The Haas driver could have a look, but the Ferrari is very eager on the defense. Up the hill we go. Now there's enabled here. Will the Haas have a look? The Ferrari defends the inside. Haas goes to the outside. The Ferrari backs out on the outside, but this time the Haas clear as day. They got that speed, but the Ferrari does not give up late on the brakes. Oh dear! And oh, that's a Ferrari off into the grass with a little contact, but the Haas virtually not being virtually not losing time through there, puts himself up into P4, up in front. Sebastian Coe has caught a second last lap. This time lost a second this lap, so back up. Sarah pits. Surprising, but also interesting, as she could be looking to undercut the Mercedes. Those hard compounds could be not making it into the end of the race. As I believe we're currently having an updated standings here. Mercedes 207 points. Alfa Romeo 112 points after this round. I believe it is. So it's going to be looking like it looks to be that the Mercedes currently could be gaining a huge jump, still nearly 100 points ahead of the Alfa Romeo. The Ferrari will have 61 points, jumping the Haas. The Haas jumping McLaren and Racing Point. but now 17.8 seconds between the two. Let's see where he will be after his pit stop. So looking interesting here as well for the drivers. So far, Sarah is gaining on those medium compounds. She is absolutely flying. She could be looking to get the fastest lap as well. Of course, there could also be a chance that Sebastian is looking for the late stop for the softs and gain more time there. A second nearly gained by Sarah on those mediums. Her car set up to be the best so far. Rise Spider in the back as well, gaining just a bit of time, 40 seconds behind Sarah after his stop as well. 16.4. We have to look at these times. They could be interesting. Sebastian goes up the bus stop, does not pit. Interesting strategy call by Sebastian. Stays out so far. Sebastian Crow looks to be maybe pitting late or not at all. Fastest lap currently has Sarah with that 45.0, while of course Sebastian has 145.3. Let's see where Sarah does after this lap. Now that this is her lap after pitting, she could be looking to increase that fastest lap as well. Sarah has done 2 pits as well. Information we got: Sarah pits had already 2 pits under her name, under the safety car 1, and this was the second time. Fastest lap by Charlie Amberson, taken away from Sarah. Here 144.6. Pardon me, 144.756. Lots of time gain on those medium compounds. This is interesting for Sarah. She goes green in sector 1. Let's see if she goes purple sector 2 and 3. Sebastian Crow currently with what, 1 pit stop under his name. It is still lots of time between the Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo. 14 seconds around that gap. Could this be enough for the Mercedes to bring it till the end? Those tires are probably suffering as well. Sarah could also be looking for the fastest lap. Let's see the live timing. Those go a bit slower in sector 2. But currently very much high on her PB, 1.8 seconds. This could be looking to maybe a 43 lap time. Up Blanchimont we go. Into the bus stop chicane. Will the Alfa Romeo of Sarah have a good enough lap to maybe increase her fastest lap? Of course, gain back that point she gets. Up towards the line. 1:43.3. Spectacular lap time from her, and that is definitely set in stone for her so far, unless Sebastian Coe goes for that late soft stop and maybe fight that. But Sebastian currently is probably planning a lot of stages of that. Is he gonna pit for the softs? Is he not gonna pit? If he does pit, when is he gonna pit? The later he waits, the more time he loses. 5 laps with this one remaining, and it's just can go all ways. It can go Mercedes, it can go Alfa Romeo. Who will take the checkered flag first? Penalties currently none so far between them. So of course, with that noted incident between Sarah and Peltoma in the Ferrari, I believe that could be going towards the Ferrari. But depending on how the incident looked like, it still is pretty much open for judgment. Another 2 seconds gained by Sarah in those medium compounds. 12 seconds. Crow really is looking and struggling with the maths. Sarah's not gaining enough time till the end. But of course, the more Sebastian waits, the slower his lap times will be. Looking at the lap times, I have to say this. Look at the lap times. Last lap, 1:45.6 by Sebastian Crow. 1:43.4 by Sarah. But it could be even faster. Sarah is currently improving on her lap time. She's gonna show up on that bus stop anytime. Here we go. Now up the hill and towards the line. And it will be another one gained by just a few hundreds. 1:43.407. Blistering lap time again. And currently, with that, she has gained 2.5 seconds to Sebastian Crow. 4 laps to go. If she gains 2 seconds a lap, she could just make it because... well, not quite actually. 2 seconds. 2.5 seconds is a different story. With 2.5 seconds, she'll be just ahead of Sebastian Coe. 2 seconds, she will not have enough time to gain. So Sebastian really needs to pick up his game, have some consistent lap times, while Sarah really needs to push that car to the absolute edge to how much a car can go. She needs to gain a minimum of 2.5 seconds every time, but the gap seems to be falling. She's not gaining enough time anymore. At this point, she should have already gained a second. Did not quite make it, but it was around 10.5 seconds. Now it's 9.5 seconds, so a second here. Look at those lap times. Sarah is starting to find her pace on the mediums, starting to have an average of a 1:43. But there we go, purple sector 2. Incredible. As I say that, she found even more time. Sebastian goes up the bus of chicane. Left, right, then left. Still above the 9 seconds with a lap time of a 1:45.7. Gained 2/10 from his last lap. But Sarah looks to be set to go for another fastest lap. Here we go. And does not. She lost in that sector 3. 1:43.455. Half a tenth slower than her fastest lap. But that's enough to gain 2.2 seconds. That's very much on the edge of how much she needs to gain to get enough to win. But of course, once she catches that Mercedes, it really depends on how deep and how much that Mercedes defends. 3 laps to go, and it can go. Mercedes, it can go. Alfa Romeo, and it's still very much open. It's not set yet. It's very difficult to predict this at all. So, we're looking here through Jackie X. Sebastian Coe stays. It's still around the 8-second mark through Pouon now. The Mercedes looking to be a bit set. Of course, those tires are still falling ever so slightly with each lap. Sarah currently in the back for the podium position. The Mercedes sends it down the inside, drifting back up the position. Incredible. Incredible defense and overtake by Rice Spider there. After that, yes, it was... oh dear, his heart rate must be spiking after that. I wasn't wearing full lock through Le Source. But this is interesting. Of course, worn hards versus pressure mediums. This is what we might expect between the Mercedes and Alfa Romeo in front as well, once that can happen. But Rice Spider not giving out at all. Entering the penultimate lap is Sebastian Coe. Can Rai defend his position as well while this is all happening? It's so much to just... look, but now the Haas. Oh, there's a contact between the two. Sebastian Coe tried to... Rice Spider tried to defend a little bit, but was too aggressive. Turned in a little bit. The Haas goes up into the podium position, but the Mercedes could have the DRS chance, but late on the brakes. Goes deep. Still side by side between the pair. It will be DRS for the Mercedes as he just crossed the line behind. Up towards La Source. The Haas barely making any time here with those fresh mediums. This could go Mercedes again. Up towards Eau Rouge down the hill. Incredible between these two. This is also very much open for P3. Up already on now. Losing half a second. There's open for the Mercedes. Will he drain that battery towards the source? Victor Bucket makes a mistake through the bus stop. The Mercedes gains no time there. And it's going Haas for the podium position. So Rice Spider tried his very best to defend, but was just not enough. But what is also not enough is the time Sarah is catching to Sebastian Coe. Sebastian, 4.7, entering the bus of chicane, will be around 4.5 seconds, entering the final lap. It might go Mercedes. Sarah needs to have a worldly of a lap here to gain to that Mercedes. Up the source. The Mercedes tires are on the brink of dying. So Sarah Murfetova goes for the fastest lap, 1:43.0, gaining half a second the faster by Sebastian Krog. That's a 1:45.5. That's 2.5 seconds between the two. But now Sarah needs to gain 4 seconds this lap. So Mercedes driver Sebastian Krog goes for the final time through the source. Victor's having issues up in front as well. That could be troubles for the Mercedes. Goes a bit wide off Village into Bruxelles. 3.7 seconds between the two. Down to Bruxelles we go. Into Jackie X. 3.3. She is gaining ever so slightly. But Sebastian Krog's main focus is to just keep it facing the right way and bringing it home for the final time through campus. 3.1 seconds. Victor Buck is 1 corner ahead, gaining more damage, hitting the wall. Will he see the cars behind leave the Mercedes through for the final time, entering sector 3, 2.9 seconds. Up towards Blanchimont. This is going Mercedes. Sebastian Krog can start to breath a sigh of relief for the final time going through this left-hander. Up towards the bus stop. Now brakes for the final time. Up the hill. Right. Now left. And he does. And so wins in Spa for round 7. Sarah spins round to cross the line in second place. Charlie fought his way back up into the podium position as well, managing to keep the Mercedes at bay, and so goes up for the final time as well, up the hill towards the bus stop chicane. Brakes now to then cross the line in P3. The final podium position goes Haas, and no double podium for the Mercedes, and so Rice Spider misses out on it. Victor Bakker will be the final driver. But incredible to see Sarah Murfetova, after starting on pole, being the fastest driver on track, with her strategy, did not manage to keep Sebastian Krog at bay, and Krog wins the Grand Prix.
Interviews are open. Go to interview waiting.
And so, as we just heard by our race director, interview for everyone. So let's see who wants to be interviewed. Of course, Sebastian Krog will be the first one there. Race winner in the Mercedes. Incredible. Very much interesting. But it goes Mercedes. So let's have our first driver interview here. Sebastian Krog. Sebastian Krog, Mercedes driver, winning once again in that black Mercedes. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty happy. Those last laps were so tense. Oh man, I'm sweating.
Well, what were your thoughts after Sarah pitted for the second time?
I was like, okay, do I pit now? Or do I try and stay out on these hard tires that have already lost me 5% grip and see what happens? And it happened to work. Oh.
Did you...
I thought staying out was smarter, but I didn't know for sure. But it worked, so I'm quite happy about that.
Did you think Sarah, if Sarah pitted just a little bit earlier, that she had you? If she had you?
I think if she pit a lap or two before, it might have worked. Yes. But then I might have pit, so... Because it was getting later, right? So as it was getting later, I was closing the pit window myself. Because I was just following what she was doing. But yeah, if she pit a lap or two earlier, I think she might have done it. Yeah.
She was gaining about 2.5 seconds per lap. Sometimes 2.2. That was a savior in your book. If she had gained 2.5 every lap, she would have gotten you. But you had incredible performance keeping that car with those old hearts. Well, your teammate down in P4 had a little bit of a lesser race. Also, on that race start, what were your thoughts? You guys were going often in 3 wide.
Oh yeah, that was insane on a race start. my car has a bit more downforce, so me and Rye were just getting swamped. So everyone else were going past, and we were like 3 wide everywhere, and I was just trying to keep it safe and keep my nose clean. In the end, that probably worked well.
Talking about setups, I've noticed that as well. Cyrus' car was way faster on the straight lines with that less downforce. Was less downforce better, or was more downforce better?
I think, and I'm not quite certain. For me, I like to drive the car with more downforce. Every round, I think I've had more downforce than the others. So for me, I think it works, but I also know that I can probably squeeze a bit more out of the suspension dynamics in a sense that I keep my downforce in the quarters, but lose some straight lines or gain some straight line speed by doing some stuff with the ride height. I was trying to experiment with that, but I didn't quite get the results I wanted. But yeah, probably low downforce could have been better, but high downforce also has its strengths, so it's like a balance game.
A bit of controversy happened in this race with Syra and the Ferrari. You were close to that as well. What are your thoughts on that?
I didn't see it.
With the safety car.
I was in the VC with the guy it happened to. He said that he was defending to the inside, and then Sarah just drove on the grass where there wasn't space, and it spun into him. That's all I can really comment on because that's all I know. But I'll look at it later, and then I'll probably be in the stewards with it anyway. So it's unfortunate because his engine broke. Then he can't continue. It's the only way you can DNF in these cars. So it was very unfortunate.
Another controversy being me forgetting to press the pits button. Was that an annoyance entering lap 2? The Fiat was on track.
I didn't notice the Fiat on track, to be honest.
You didn't? Interesting.
No.
Interesting, because
I did think about it.
I have forgotten
On my
to press
replay,
that.
you went on my replay, you went on there either.
I just pressed the pits when everyone was crossing. Okay, so that is better to know because I really pressed it very late. Alright, so Sebastian Crow, that was a spectacular weekend. You're increasing your gap in the championship standings as well. 111 points before this round, now increasing it by 25 points. Of course, Sarah got the fastest lap, so you didn't manage to get that biggest jump, but Sarah puts herself up into P4 in the standings. What do you think? Will she be a championship contender for you at the end of the season?
I really don't know. The gap is now pretty big. It's like 80 points, 70 something. So as long as I tend every race, I think I'll be fine, to be honest. She has missed a few too many rounds. But it'll still be fun to battle. I like to battle. It doesn't really matter for me that much that I win. So today I was like, it didn't matter if I won because it was still fun. I was pushing. It was 2 different strategies kind of trying to work out. So yeah, it was fun. And that's why I race.
Alrighty, so in the Mercedes, you're set to get that championship. Any final words on your side?
Thank you guys for commentating, or you. It's really nice to have someone streaming. That's all I have to say.
Next round, are you interested for that?
Next round is Singapore, one of my favorite tracks. Yes, I'm quite excited for that.
And interesting, the way you do high downforce will come help. So, I believe you'll be the only one we're interviewing today. Thank you so much for being here, and well, enjoy and celebrate your race win. I'll see you.
Thank you.
In the next round. And to every viewer watching, this was Vanguard round 6 Spa. Of course, next being Singapore. Pardon me, I have a statement forgotten there. Singapore round 7. Interesting to see who will come out on top at that race. I was your commentator, Captain Foxy, and I will see you in the next round. Goodbye.
The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is